there, it's Jen, Tinline from Stamp with Jen, and in today's card I'm going to show you a really cute card using the Easter Bunny stamp set. So this is in the main Stampin' Up! Catalog, and I'm going to get started. So I've got just here a piece of scrap basic white cardstock, and I'm going to take my Memento ink and I'm going to stamp this one image. Now there is a punch that will match this bunny right here, but I'm not using that bunny, I'm using this bunny. So we're going to do our own cutting here of this. It's super easy. I'm also going to stamp on a Post-it note down towards the sticky part, another bunny, and I've got another piece of paper here. This one is 4 1/4 by 1 inch, and there's these cute little Easter eggs. Just make sure I'm in frame here. Cute little Easter eggs in the stamp set, so I'm going to stamp those. Sorry, just readjusting the camera there, and I'm going to stamp. I think they should go this way. The fat part on the bottom. I'm going to stamp one in the middle, and then I'm just going to pull in a piece of scrap paper here. We'll need that for coloring anyways, because when you color with the blends markers from Stampin' Up, they kind of bleed through the paper, so you always want something scrap underneath. And so now they just look like they're all in a row, and we'll be able to color those. I'm just going to close up my ink pad here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the bunny. Now, when I cut out masks, I like to cut out at least 2 at a time. These are thin papers, the Post-it notes, and easy to cut out too. So I don't really care about the back part of this, so I'm just going to cut straight. It's the front here that I care about. This is where we're gonna put a little Easter egg in the bunny's arms. So I don't know if you can see that part of the bunny's arms. I'm actually going to cut off that one arm just so it's going to appear like the egg that we're going to put there is going to be behind the paw but in front of the first paw. That's my hope anyways. So I only really need this part of the bunny to be masked, and I want to keep that sticky part available on the bottom. So I'm going to leave this part with the stamping on it so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm going to save this one. I take it and I just put it in my stamp case so that I can use it for another card. Okay, so this one I'll continue to use too if it stays sticky. So let me just position this on here. So it's basically just covering up the stamping that we did. So let me hold that up. You can just sort of see that the other little arm is showing through there. So the egg is going to go over top. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be super cute. Okay, so I'm going to take my black now, and I'm going to stamp this egg here so that it's appearing in this guy's paws. And I want my scrap paper back here again, just because I don't want to mess up my background here. Okay, so it might be a little hard to see, but I'm going to, oops, I just dimmed the light. Let's change that. I'm going to stamp right over top of that Post-it note. And I'm not going to worry about those other eggs because we're going to cut this out. Okay, so let me hold that up so you can see what I've done here. Let's get another, there we go. That's better. So you can see it's just stamped right over. So when I take this off, it's going to look like that guy's sort of holding the Easter egg. It's close. Okay, so let's start coloring. I'm going to put all this other stuff away and pull this out. So I've got a bunch of blends markers here. I've got Bubble Bath, light and dark, Fresh Freesia, light and dark, Pool Party, light and dark, Lost Lagoon, light and dark, and Crumb Cake, light and dark. And also a color lifter, just so that I can, if I make any mistakes, I've got that. So I'll just move all this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to start coloring. There is the finished Easter eggs. And there's the colored part of the bunny. So now I'm going to just add some crumb cake to the bunny. I use the bullet tip for most of the coloring on the eggs just because they're a really small area. And sometimes the bullet tip is easier to get in a small area. But I'm using the brush tip now. And you can see that I pre-colored, when I was doing the pinks, I colored the ears and the nose of the bunny. So I'm going to leave this bunny's chest white. And just color the little arms. Cute little bunny. So I'm just getting down like a first coat here and not being too careful. Okay, and then I'm going to take my dark crumb cake, and then wherever there might be more darkness, I'm going to add. So along the back, along the bottom, maybe along the hands, which are not called hands, I know that. The back ear, back of the head. Okay, so I just sort of put some lines there, and now I'm going to go back in with my light crumb cake and blend that out, just like sort of coloring and pulling that color out. So there will still be some dark areas, but also some light areas. That's what I love about the blends markers. They're pretty forgiving for first-time colors, or not expert colors, I should say. I've colored quite a few times, but I would not say I was an expert. So now this time I'm actually taking care to make my strokes kind of curved here and really fill in that. I'm going to go around the eye a little bit. Okay, and this ear looks a little too light, so I'm going to just add a little bit more there. You can go over it with the same color and make it darker too. So I don't have enough of a fade that I want here between the chest and the chin. So I'm just going to use my color eraser here, the color lifter, and just sort of fade that out a little bit more. And I realize I've missed a haunch here. And that would be darker because it's in the background. So I'm going to use the dark crumb cake to color that. And I'm going to add a little dark just to the toes and the paws, and I'm going to go back in and just add a little bit more of a shadow here at the back. And just blend it out a little bit because I just want that dark color to stay there. And I'll hold this up in a second. Okay, so check out how cute that little bunny is, all colored. And I realized my original, I had done the Easter egg in a different color, but I think I'm going to leave it like this, and I'll show you the differences between the two. So now I'm going to take this piece here, and there's this cute little grass image in the stamp set. So I'm going to take Lost Lagoon. It's a blue-green, but because I want to stick with the same colors that I've been using, I'm going to use it, and it's going to look like green grass. I'm going to make 2 rows of grass here so the bunny can sit in the grass. Okay, and you could color that grass if you want to, but I'm not going to. I've also got a greeting here from the stamp set, and I'm using fresh freesia for this, and it says an Easter treat for you. Ta-da! And there is a cute little, I keep touching my lights here. Hold on a second. There we go. There's a cute little butterfly in the stamp set too, so I'm going to stamp that as well. Just want to make sure I've got it in the right way. And that's in Memento Black, so I can color that in as well. You need the Memento when you're coloring with the blends. They're alcohol markers, and you don't want them to bleed on you. So I'm going to do, I think, light fresh freesia. Again, this is, I think, different than my sample, but that's fine. Then you can see the differences. As long as you're matching your colors, and that's what I love about Stampin' Up! Stuff, is you totally can match. If you use fresh freesia marker, you can use a fresh freesia cardstock. Okay, and then I'm going to grab the Lost Lagoon just to pull in that same color as the grass. Okay, let me show you that piece. Super cute, and our bunny's going to go right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the bunny with my paper snips, and I'm going to cut around, obviously, that egg, and I want to leave a little bit of a white border. That's pretty much what Stampin' Up's dies and punches do, and it just looks a little better. Plus, we're on a white background, so it's really going to be easy to sort of make that blend in. So when you're doing this, what you want to do is you want to move the paper. And a smaller piece of paper is better, so let me just cut it out a little bit first, more than the scissors. So here we go. So I'm going to move the paper. I cut that one a bit tight instead of the scissors to cut all that. Before we had dies and punches, you wanted to cut out an image, this is how you did it. So a lot of people may, not think this is something they can do. It's called fussy cutting. You'll often hear people describe that as fussy cutting. But it's not hard. It just takes a second. And it does make a difference to take a card from a sort of a flat two-dimensional thing to more of a three-dimensional. And you don't have to get ready and tight. You can decide that you're going to leave more white space, especially again like on this card where the background is white. So, okay, so there's the bunny. That wasn't hard. Okay, so I'm going to just move everything out of the way and we'll put the card together. So I have the card base here. It's cut longwise, which I call hot dog. And it's like that because we're going to emboss the front. Now, if you're not sure how to cut cards, make sure you sign up for my newsletter because I have a whole thing on how to cut measurements that you'll get when you're part of my newsletter. I'll just pop a thing down there so you can see. Okay, so I'm going to use these embossing folders. They're on the online exclusive, which is why you won't find them in a catalog, but they're there available online to order. Basics 3D embossing folders, and it's got a kind of flower background, a polka dot background, and then this sort of hashtag, almost hashed. I think it looks like a basket. That's why I picked it, because I thought it kind of looked like a basket. So that's going to go in like this. So it's going to do the front of our card. And if you want to know which way the front goes, it's the Stampin' Up fold. The Stampin' Up logo is how you're going to see the best pattern. So I'm going to put that in up to our seam of where our card is folded in half. And it doesn't matter if it goes a little bit over on the back. So like this. Okay, and then the sandwich that I need, you don't need all these regular plates. What you need is this regular plate is the only one we need, one, and then we take off all the other plates. Oops, I've got it hidden here. One, and then I'm going to put my folder and my paper in here, and then I need this plate here. This is plate 4, and that's going to go on top, like so. So I'm making room in here, and then you just give it a little shove into the machine, and start turning the handle. Okay, so when I take it out, we get this lovely, like I said, it almost looks like a basket kind of weave, which I thought was just perfect for an Easter card. Okay, so I'm going to go back in and do my fold. And by the way, this was cut an 8.5 by 11 sheet and cut in half. So I call that hot dog style, okay? Because it's long and skinny as opposed to the other way where we cut cards, which is short and fat. Okay, so here's all our bits. And the way this is going to go together, I'm going to get my seal, adhesive, and I'm going to put this piece on here. And again, if you are needing how to do measurements on cards, be sure to check out my newsletter. Oops, I'll just take that banner off too. And because this is 4 1/4 by 2 3/4, and then the Fresh Freesia cardstock is just 1/4 of an inch bigger. So we have a nice border here, and that of course is going to fit on the front of our card, which is 4 1/4 inches. So I'm going to do this. Now it's a little bumpier because of the embossed, so I'm going to add a little more adhesive than I normally would here. Now the nice thing when you cut a card like this is if your measurements weren't perfect and you needed to trim a little bit, there's a little bit of a gap right there. I could take that, put it on my paper trimmer and trim it, but it's not enough for me to worry about. So I'm going to add the bunny with some Stampin' Dimensionals. Looks like I'm all out of the big ones, but I have saved, and you should save the scraps around the outside of any dimensionals because they make perfect dimensionals. So I'm just going to cut that. So I have those. This is the mini dimensional outside frame. So I just keep all those bits. I need just a little smaller one for the egg. There we go. And we'll do one more. Okay, that should be good. I'll just peel those off. I always like adding dimensionals to a card. So I'm going to set a little bunny right in the grass like that. So cute. Okay, and on the inside of the card, we're going to add this strip of eggs just down towards the bottom, just for a little decorative element inside the card. So there's a couple things I want to point out, and I'm going to show you my original, which actually has ribbon on it. But this is my ribbon that I wanted to use. This is in the main catalog. There's 3 different colors, Azure Afternoon, Lemon Lolly, and this beautiful bubble bath. But this is all the ribbon I have left. So I don't have enough to put on this card. So I'm going to show you what my plan was. But it is like this. So a couple things. First of all, I colored this Easter egg to match this one inside. Not that it really makes a difference, but it kind of draws the two together. The other thing is this says an Easter treat for you. So if you wanted to, you could make this on the bottom and just put adhesive on these sides, and you could tuck a gift card in there. It'll be turned into like a little pocket. So that's something you could do with that. So let me bring, oh, and I know what else I wanted to do with this before I show you the original. I want to add some Wink of Stella. So this is our Stampin' Up's glitter pen, basically. And I'm looking because I've got, you can tell that they're full or not by just holding them up to the light. And I think these are all on empty. I might need to grab a new one. So I'm just going to add some glitter to the butterfly. And of course the egg needs some glitter. We'll glitter all over that. Okay. I'm just going to glitter all over the butterfly too. Again, it's probably not going to show up in the camera. My original one might show up because it's dry. So let me pull this in. So now you can see what it looks like with, I've added ribbon. So the ribbon goes all the way inside the card, and then I've tied a knot, and I've used some linen thread, which is the same color as the card base, and tied a little bow over top. So it's super cute. So I think what I might do, I have an idea. Okay, I just got an idea. So first of all, let me show you this one. I'm hoping maybe the glitter will show up on here. And you can see that the eggs are just colored a little differently and the butterflies are colored differently. I'm not sure that one is nicer than the other. They're both super cute. Okay, so what I do have lots of is the linen thread. So I'm going to just wrap this around, and I do it the opposite way. Okay, and I'm going to tie this, let's see here, into, let's start with a knot. And then I'm going to grab a piece of this. Now I like to use a different pair of scissors. I always have one pair of scissors that has either ribbon on it or a tag or something to differentiate between the scissors I use for cutting paper. Okay, so I'm going to just tie a little knot here. So we're going to get the effect of this ribbon. This ribbon is so pretty because it has a silver thread that goes through it. So it really picks the glitter up. And then I'm going to turn around and tie the bow. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but hold on. So when I do a bow, I leave it on the spool and I tie a big loopy bow first, and then I kind of start to tighten up the ends and tighten up the bow, and just to get it smaller but also nice and tight. Okay, and then once I've got it, then I can cut off the end so I don't waste very much. Now obviously that ribbon is too big, so I'm going to trim it down a little bit. And I always trim on an angle because it looks nicer and it just helps a little bit with the fraying. Okay, so that gives me the same look as this, the same effect by having that little bit of pink ribbon. If you didn't see this one next to that one, you wouldn't know you're missing something. So, and again, it sort of actually ties through the more pink egg that I did here. So that's a cute way to adapt when you don't have quite enough of one ribbon or not. So that is my Easter card for you. I hope you enjoy it and you can make some Easter cards of your own. Easter is early this year. It's at the end of March. So thanks so much for joining me, and don't forget to grab my newsletter, and so you can find out any Stampin' Up! News or anything, any projects that I do or classes, you would hear about them through that newsletter. So happy Easter, everyone. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.